everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About That, a Union University podcast. Today, you are lucky enough to join Ted Cluck and myself and the wonderful enrollment counselor named Dylan Runions. Dylan was a student. He worked in Res Life. He was involved in so many things, but now he works on the recruiting side. He's a part of our admissions team, and he serves Georgia, Alabama, and a ton of counties in East Tennessee. So maybe if that's you, you're going to be really curious to see what Dylan has to say, and I think you will love this very kind, honest, encouraging conversation between the three of us. We're so thankful for you, Dylan, and we're thankful for you for listening. Sit back, enjoy the conversation. We sure do appreciate you. All right, everybody. Ted Cluck, welcome.
Yeah, good to be back, Fran. How are you?
You're literally coming in on two wheels from class.
Coming in, dude. 3 classes taught today, so I've been talking all day, and I'm going to dinner with my kid after this and then to Trivium. So
Ted, I can't go to Trivium tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm so sad about it.
Why can't you go?
Because I'm leading a Bible study.
Okay. Wow, look at you.
Well,
just a little more spiritual, a little better. You know.
Ted, last year at Trivium, this is something, listeners, that our Residence Life puts on. I thought that I knew things.
Yeah.
I got into Trivium. I don't know things, apparently. Yeah. I went in a little, maybe on the arrogant side.
Whoa.
Thought that I would be able to contribute because I kind of pride myself on knowing ridiculous things.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. That's what I learned.
Yeah.
So it's okay that I'm not going to be there this year.
I tell the students I only know sports and pop culture. Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm not going to be any good on any of the rest of them, and they still want to have me around. So
yeah, it's all for fun.
Apparently we're doing something right.
Yeah, it's all for fun. Okay, for sure. So yay, we've had big days. Tell us really quick before we move into our guest of the hour. What was something fun that happened in class today? You're teaching classes you've taught.
Yeah.
No telling how many times.
I am, but I change them. I always change them. I always change the content. So we, at 925, we had WOMP, Writing Across Media Platforms. That's our 100 level, like journalism flyover, kind of the gateway class. And then 1215, we had screenwriting. So we're writing movie and TV scripts, which is a blast, dude. Yeah, not going to recommend any movies, but we had, we had read some scripts, which is how you get good at writing scripts, and then we watched some episodes.
That's not intimidating at all.
Well, it's fun because everybody's kind of at the same level, right?
Yeah, that's true.
There's no occasion for anybody to come in and kind of be arrogant about it because, nobody's really done it before. So we're all just kind of learning and having fun, kicking the tires on some ideas and watching some great things and reading great things, and that's how you get better. So from there, it was magazine and feature writing at the end. We're reading one of my favorite authors, Chuck Klosterman. He put out a collection, Chuck Klosterman 4, just a collection of great features that he had written that are really clever and voicey, and I'm blessed. I really love my days. I like what I get to do.
Well, today was a full one.
Today was a full one. I'm going to be a little tired tomorrow. I'm going to need to introvert a little bit tomorrow.
Listen, I got to recharge, people.
Yeah, maybe we'll get another snow week.
I don't know.
That was too much.
Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah.
I can't do that again. We got things to do, people.
We do.
We've got podcasts to make. We've got conversations to have with people. And so today, Ted, in Let's Talk About That, we have a guest on our show by the fabulous name of Dylan Runions. Welcome.
Thank you, Miss Fran. It's so good to be here.
Listen, here's what's so funny. Dylan sent me a text, everybody, about 30 minutes, an hour. Let's say an hour before record time. And he was like, my voice is a little maybe raspy, not so strong, because he yelled, screamed, /cheered too much at our basketball game last night.
I did, yeah. and our boys did so well.
Yeah, they did.
And this kind of goes into stuff we can talk about, but of me being a faculty now, I kind of want to not be the student that's really loud in the student section. My fiance is still here. She's a senior, so she wants to sit in the student section. So I'm like, okay, I'll sit.
You're torn in your identity right now.
Exactly. And so the most of the game, I'm very quiet. Well, they had one player who, he's got a bit of spunk in him, and he hit a free throw, and he decided he was going to turn to the crowd. Felt like he looked right at me and just shushed.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, I'm a part of this game now. I'm going to yell.
You're in it, man.
And I don't know why it took me till literally an hour ago to realize, wait, my voice is gone and I'm doing a podcast today.
Dude, a couple things. Number one, the voice sounds awesome. It sounds raspy and like old manish in great ways.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate it because you put me in a sporting event, I'm all in. I'm not going to sit there passive. Half the time I don't know what I'm yelling about, but I'm all in. So I'm proud of you. We're going to take the raspy voice today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dude, how has the transition been between going from like being a college guy and now you're on the staff side but you're still dating a girl who's in college? I imagine it creates all kinds of interesting little contradictions for you in how you go about your day-to-day life. Like you look very like staff-like, for lack of a better term.
Thank you. Gage Courtney gave me all the attire. So
shout out Gage Courtney, one of my favorite students. Do you want to hear a quick, ever so fast Gage Courtney story?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm teaching this class, and maybe it was magazine and feature writing even, but I had given them an assignment to turn in right before Thanksgiving break. Okay, and Gage was a fun one. He was always kind of a live wire in the room, somebody I could count on for some conversation and some ha-has. And I'm walking around, and I'm picking up all these papers, and kids are giving me, like, stacks of paper. And I get to Gage's, and he gives me, like, this stack of plastic, right? And I'm looking through here. He had laminated each individual page of his assignment. And I said, Gage, am I supposed to use this as a placemat, like for Thanksgiving? I can wipe it down with a damp cloth. Like, am I supposed to grade this with like a dry erase marker? You know, what are we doing here? And I'm kind of having some fun with him. And he looks at me as though it were the most normal thing imaginable. And he goes, Cluck, my sister just got a laminator. Almost like I had to use this. You know, it was like a moral obligation to laminate some stuff.
That's so funny.
That's my favorite Gage Courtney story.
I don't know that that would have never crossed my mind, even if my sister would have bought a laminator. But you know what? That does sound like Gage Courtney.
It was awesome. Gage is a very talented guy, tremendous artist. Have you seen his drawings?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. No, he's awesome.
He's very gifted. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you've got Union Attire.
Yes.
By Gage Courtney. Thank you, Gage.
Yeah, swagged up, man,
I'm
head to
telling
toe.
you. Okay, you can answer Ted's question, which I've already forgot what it was.
So
okay.
The transition. Dude, it's weird.
I bet.
It's so weird.
Am I a grown-up? Am I a student?
Right.
Yeah.
And
Who
so
am I?
I'm living with some friends right now in Cherry Grove, hoping to get married in June.
Yeah.
June 14th. And so I love that I'm still living with guys, but it's also really weird that I'm still living with guys.
Sure.
And so Brianna will come over to my place, and then I'll take her back. And I don't know. I just feel like the safety and security guard like looks at me, and he's like, "You got the blue sticker, and you're going to why?"
I know.
So I don't know. I'm just like I feel a little weird about it, but it's like we've been dating for over a year and a half, so it's not weird, but
you're trapped in
that
two
part
worlds.
Of it is a little weird.
That part's a little weird.
And it's also just weird because I graduated and all my friends are gone. Except, I mean, I have friends that are still here, but the class that I was with, they're all gone.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, just doing my thing. And
dude,
also,
go ahead. Yeah.
Also, like, I work at a desk for 8 hours.
Oh, man.
And then I get out and I realize, wait, students have been going to class all day. Like, this is what I was... This is how I felt, I guess, when I was in their shoes.
That's right.
It's just weird.
You know what's interesting to me, and Fran, you can speak to this too. I feel like no one prepares you for the emotional journey of like getting done with college and starting like the first day job. You know what I'm saying? Where you got to show up at 8, you got to be there till 5. And we prepare you to do the work, right? I would like to think we do a great job of preparing people to do the work, but like just the emotional grind of you're not hanging out with your boys till 2 a.m. Right. You're making some different choices, and it can be tough to deal with. How have you found that part of it to navigate?
Yeah, so I definitely had to get a better sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Having to wake up at 7 a.m. So if I'm not going to bed at 11, then if I don't do it by 12, I'm going to really be upset with myself in the morning.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn that. Another thing, and shout out to Emma Kate's podcast, because she was talking about this, but just learning, like, how am I going to hang out with my friends that I do have here? How am I going to plan time to have fun events as an adult, because I don't have all of these res life activities anymore unless I get invited to take part in it. But I'm going to go to the basketball games, I'm going to go to these other events, or I know I need to plan a movie night with my friends, or I need to plan to go out to eat with Brianna and her friends. It's just very, very different being on this side of the things.
Dude, you're living an adult social life. You're living the kind of life that, like, we live, right, Frank?
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Just parallel lives.
You're planning that dinner party, like, 3 weeks in advance.
100% no.
Yeah. No, it's fun.
You know, let's tell people, tell us just really quick, where are you from?
So I'm from Newport, Tennessee, the same hometown as Joe Ball.
Oh,
wow.
Shout out to Joe Ball's
I know he
episode.
talked about it a little bit, too.
I forgot about that.
Dude, what's Newport like? Give me 30 seconds on it.
Dude, Newport is very, very small town. If you ask anybody in East Tennessee, they're going to say it's just a drug town. But I came out of there drug-free.
So
nobody ever even offered me drugs.
Look at
so I think that there's hope there.
There
you go. There's more going on in Newport.
Right. There is. We got a shady bowling alley.
Oh, it's great, dude. I love small towns.
Yeah,
I grew up in one like
great.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so you came to Union. What did you major in? What did you get your degree in?
So I got a major in Christian Studies and a minor in sport management.
What
a very
about
interesting
that?
combo, I like to say.
Love.
Now, what is your like peak career path with that? What kind of job would be Apex Mountain for you?
Yeah. So my whole plan of coming to Union was I want to be a missionary.
Mm-hmm.
And so I still want to do that. But clearly, I'm working in admissions at Union, so something changed. If you would have told me 4 years ago this is where I would be, I'd have been like, "There's no way, no shot."
Oh, I get it.
But obviously, things happen, life changes, and so really, I'm in a spot where I have no idea what's next. But I love ministry, and I love discipleship, and I love seeing God work in other people around me and in myself.
Yeah.
So something along those lines. I'm not exactly sure what the next step is.
Yeah. You do figure it out, and it's great that you were able to settle in this job as you're figuring things out.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and having worked in the admissions office for a long time, and I appreciate the hard work that you do day in and day out of recruiting students to come to Union. What's your territory? Where are you out and about trying to get students from?
So I'm East Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia.
Okay. Well, we're going to make sure that all the people in those areas that have any interest in Union whatsoever, they get this episode so they can hear your voice.
That's right.
Okay. Tell us about, and you can be on, I don't care, you could be the student, you could be the employee, that whatever angle you want to answer this question. What was a just top experience for you? Like, what do you look back on in either place? What did you just go, that was incredible, or it was just, it shaped you, it changed you, It was just significant, one of those moments you're not going to forget, whether it was fun, serious, whatever?
Yeah, I think it's the thing that hits you like a truck when you're coming in as a freshman. It's welcome week.
Oh.
Like it's crazy, but it is so much fun.
Yeah.
And also, like, I got really, really lucky, and I met my best friends right away. Who eventually were, my roommates for 3 years, and then, like, I'm going to be in their weddings. They're going to be in my wedding. Like,
so who were those guys?
Really lucky in that.
Run me through them real quick.
Nathan Golden, he was an engineering major.
Okay.
Noah Simpson, who was with MK Hair.
Yeah.
And Charlie Skinner, who you were related
Chuck's my
to.
nephew.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, this is great.
Is that why you asked him that question?
Well, I thought, so here's the thing. Part of my job, I meet a lot of people, right? And I interface with a lot of people. And I thought you looked familiar from Chuck's wedding.
Right.
But I didn't know for sure if you were the guy. So it's good to make the connection. That was a fun wedding, huh?
Oh, dude, it was awesome. It was very hot.
It was very warm that day,
wasn't it? Stung by
it?
a bee and did not move.
Oh, no.
Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, literally while they were up there, I'm standing behind Charlie. She gets stung, doesn't even move.
Yeah.
She's just stone cold, ready to get married.
Dude,
that's just the Lord right there.
What a superstar. Yeah, that speaks to her grit, too. Like, she's built different.
Yeah, she is.
I was busy dealing with, like, heat exhaustion and getting an IV, so I missed that part. Yeah. No, it was great, man. And it's strange to me, you talk about being here still and having, those guys gone. Like, that's been my experience. Right. So Chuck's older sister, Chuck, now Chuck's younger sister is here at Union, and I've been here to see them all come and go. And man, if that doesn't make you feel old, but yeah, they're great.
I think it's
great
so
kids.
fun that you I wasn't expecting you to say Welcome Week was a top experience for you, because for those that don't know what Welcome Week is, like, it's just a 3-4 day time when you first get to Union as a freshman. and then it's over. You don't get that experience
No.
again. You don't do it again. It's just one shot. This is it. And I don't know. I wouldn't have, I understand the significance of it, and it's so much fun, and you're, not at home anymore, and you're getting to do all these fun things. Right. So I think that really speaks to student life and the experience that they put together. That's incredible.
Yeah, and I think part of it is I'm from a public school, and so I was the pastor's kid, the Christian boy, wasn't invited to all the parties. And so when I found Union and figured out that there was going to be a lot of people that thought similar to me, coming here to Welcome Week was just like the coolest amusement park, and so much fun things all around.
Great. That's really good to hear.
Dub invites us to his house. And it's just something I never thought I was going to get to experience.
Did you jump in the pool there at Dub's house?
I did jump in the pool with all the guys fully clothed.
It's a nice time. Yeah.
And now I get to tell everybody that.
Yeah,
and it's a wonderful story.
Absolutely.
What do you love most about your job as an enrollment counselor and recruiting students? I think it's great that, when you are a student, when you've been a student and you have that perspective, you have such a passionate experience and voice, and it's easy to talk about. It's easy to share your story about why somebody should consider coming to Union. But what do you love day in and day out, interacting with all the different people? What do you love about it?
I think what I really love is when I meet people who either they know about Union, they know this is exactly what they want to be, or I meet people that they've never heard of Union, but they're looking for that Christian school, something that's unique, something that's going to grow them. And then I just get to talk about the gospel for like an hour, and I get paid to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that part of it is just my favorite part of the job, because where else can you really do that, in higher ed? There's not a lot of places where you could just have the free reign to talk about all of that. So.
Well, something that Ted says all the time that I deeply appreciate, and I'm not in the classroom, so I don't hear this side of it, but if I were to ask you today, like I've never asked you before and didn't know the answer, and I asked you, Ted, what do you love most about your job? He's going to always say, I want to make much of Christ in the classroom above anything else. Then I will hope to give you skills and tools, in your profession to do your job. But that's not just reserved for the classroom.
Right.
Like hopefully we're doing that everywhere, but to be on the admission side when you're getting to visit with families and talk about why they should consider Union, the fact that you get to do that, that's incredible. I absolutely love that. That's what sets us apart. Bravo to you. You're doing good work.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, listen, how many times, probably every episode, we talk about the fact that we understand, are very well aware that we're not a perfect place. We know that. Of course we're not.
Right.
But we're also very aware that we're trying to pursue excellence in who we are as individuals, as an institution, but we're not perfect. So when you think about, goodness, you were a student, now you're working here, you're recruiting students, you've got a completely new perspective. And that can be very exciting. It can be overwhelming, slightly terrifying. Where would you say, here's an area of improvement, or I'd like to see us be better at this? Because, we can, talk about all the great things. That's to be expected. But I think part of what makes these conversations really helpful and healthy and appropriate is we recognize areas of growth and opportunity. Right. Where, for you, would you say, yep, that's definitely an area of growth or opportunity for us to do better?
Yeah, I love that you asked that question. I'm going to jump right back to that, tying into a part of my story. I worked in Res Life here at Union, and I just love Res Life. Go listen to Kevin Morgan's podcast. I'll shout out all of your podcasts because they're awesome. But he talks about Res Life in that. And when I listened to that, I just got sad because I was like, man, I miss that team. I love my team I'm in now, but there's nothing like that Res Life team and just how awesome they work together. But when I was an RA, I got to, get meals with guys, and I love to ask them, what do you like about Union the most? What do you not like about Union the most? And it was so cool always to hear their different answers. Sometimes they shocked me, sometimes it was just the food was what they didn't like. Sometimes it was financial things or, whatever. But what I loved after hearing what they liked, what they didn't like, was the fact that I could be like, man, we could sit here and talk about all the things that we wish Union could change, that is wrong about Union, that we don't like. But man, Union is an awesome place. Just the fact that like I'm even getting to be here with you, that we're getting to talk about, oh, I'm gonna get to get married, or oh wow, you joined that club, like that's so awesome. So I think that really ties into what I wanted to say of I just want to hear more better words, and it's something that Dr. Dub does at the end of every town hall. He always shares some good words, and I think that it can be so easy when doing even my job to focus on the numbers, focus on learning how the FAFSA works, and all these scholarships and things,
hard stuff,
looking at numbers and being like, oh, we're down, or oh, we're not doing well, or am I working hard enough, am I putting in enough time? And yes, I want to work hard in what I do, and yes, I hope that every department is working hard in what they do. But I think it can be so easy to let the enemy get in and attack us in that, and maybe look at ourselves and be like, well, I'm not doing good enough. Or maybe look at someone else and be like, well, they're not doing that. But I think if we took the time and shared just a few more good words, and one thing I was telling you before we started this, Fran, was an RA told me that an athlete came to her and said, hey, I'm a new believer. I want somebody to disciple me. I need somebody to do that. Like, that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
That's why Union's here, because we want people to come here, whether they know Christ or not, but to have that opportunity to learn about Christ and get to grow in that and pursue that relationship with him. That's why we do it. And I think that if we just have to constantly, I need to remind myself, we need to remind each other. I think that that's what's going to lead us to being more successful in what we're doing and enjoying what we do more.
100%.
Good word. Yeah.
Well, it is. It's easy. Listen, I'm a female. We like to talk, and sometimes our mouths can get the best of us because, you maybe are a part of a conversation or just negative talk or, whatever. And it's easy to get wrapped up in that. And before you know it, not only are you saying things, you're believing things, you've forgotten things, you forgot why are we here and what are we doing. And then I was talking to a group of students last weekend, a couple of weekends ago, when we had our leadership summit. Another shout out, Joe Ball. We were talking about, just do we have the people in our life that whether you call them your cheerleaders, your high fivers, your encouragers, they're just constantly living in that mindset of, cheering us on and reminding us our purpose and our why and what we're doing, and they're redirecting us and pointing us to that, because it's so easy in a world that is negative and chaotic and just feels like doom and gloom that you forget. And so we want to be those people. Right. We want to be those people in the classroom, out of the classroom, that don't forget why we're here and doing the work that we do, that we're the inspiration, that we're the ones shining brightly in a dark world. And it really has to happen internally and starts with all of us in our offices, in our departments, in our classrooms, so that it's so easy for us when we are engaging with a prospective family and a student to just talk about the truth and what we know. And it's good. It's really, really good. Let's give more good words.
Yeah, that is good. I think, too, we're wise to remember that when you're out there selling Union, and even when I am, we're not selling utopia. Yeah. And I think in this business, in Christian college, Christian higher ed, you get these versions of utopia, and then someone arrives and they're like a little tweaked if not every single thing is perfect. And I don't know if it's generational or what, but I think just acknowledging and accepting that people still have a sin nature. Not every aspect of this is going to be, exactly like the dream of it. But I think if we're all making much of the Lord and we're all grateful for the chance to be here and do what we do, which, let's be honest, like I got to talk about screenwriting, magazine writing, and newspaper writing today. It's fun. It's fun for me. Yeah. And hopefully it's fun for them, and hopefully they feel loved and cared for. And there's going to be ups and downs, right? Because there's ups and downs in all of life. But what better place to have them than a place where, people love the Lord and they want to disciple, and I think most of us here are looking for opportunities to come alongside people and disciple.
Well, because when it's all said and done, I mean, Ted and I can say this, ultimately, what do you want for your child?
Yeah, that's right.
Ultimately, when it's all said and done, as much as we would love whatever you want to say, fill in the blank, I wish we had, or I wish that was better, ultimately, okay, sure, yeah, give me that new wellness center. I want that new wellness
I
center.
do actually want that.
I kind of do too, Ted. That's why I brought it
Yeah,
up.
not for us to pressure people, but if you're listening, we do want that. Yeah.
But at the same time, what I want more than anything above the wellness center.
Wow. Go on.
I want our students to know the Lord. I want them to have a heart after God, that they want to know Him and pursue Him, and that they are truly being transformed by Him. Yeah, that can occur in a wellness center. Sure, it can. But yeah, I think just if we can just remind ourselves, be a good word, encourage people, share what you can share that's good. There just needs to be a whole lot more of that.
Well, we need to be great at relating, right?
Yeah.
We need to be great at res life because, baked into that whole experience is relating and knowing and being known. And, you can do that well regardless of what the budget is. And I think...
Sure, absolutely.
I think so often
Say
in
that
our...
again.
Well, I just think so often in our business, Christian higher ed marketing becomes this arms race of like... we got a $30 billion gift from some pharmaceutical company, so every incoming freshman gets a new house, and it's like we keep ratcheting up the kind of like curb appeal of these places. But, if there's no heart, if there's no love, if there's no affection for the Lord, then it's just noise,
Yeah.
And, we want to get people on campus so that they can see the spirit of the place.
Yeah.
And, not just have it be brochure talk.
Right. Okay, so for anybody listening that wants to come visit campus, and you could listen to this 2 years from now, but there's always a campus visit. You can do that any day of the week.
Yep.
There's always preview days or day at the U where you can come and have that experience.
Meet with a prof, too, while you're doing that. Come meet with me.
Do you
nice.
know? Yes, Ted. I think anybody that comes for a visit that listens to this podcast, they need to reach out to me or you, and we're going to find a way to meet them and be like, oh my gosh, you listened to this episode and you came for a visit.
It'd be fun. And not only would it be fun, I think as a parent, and I'm a parent of a Union junior, like I want to know who's teaching my kid.
100%.
And again, not that like everything that I feel is going to cohere 100% with everything that they feel, but I want to know in general that my students are learning from people who are excellent at their craft.
That's
so people
right.
who've done it in the marketplace, people who are passionate about teaching it, people
Right.
who are passionate about the Lord,
Right.
Who have doctrinal distinctives.
Yeah.
These things are important to a parent,
Yeah.
especially when you're making this kind of a purchase,
Yeah. Dylan, remind us, what was your major?
Christian studies.
What did you love most about that? Because you are, like, Ted asked you early on, like, what do you ultimately want to do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to tell you right here, right now. Do I know this to be 100% true? No. But what I do know about you is that you will be leading, discipling, teaching something, making a difference in people's lives when it comes to the gospel. I don't know what that will ultimately look like for you, but you're such a fit for that. What did you love about your time over there?
Yeah, so I actually came into Union as an engineering major.
Oh, my word.
So quite a change to
Yes.
Christian studies. I realized I could do it as an engineer, but I didn't love it. And so when I looked at all the majors that Union had, I thought about the classes that I had taken that I liked. And the only real ones that I loved was Old and New Testament survey.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And so I was like, well, I know I like the Bible. I don't know if I want to be a pastor like my dad, but I would love to take more classes like that. And so that's when I talked with Joe Ball. I talked with Dr. Schatzer over in the theology department, and he kind of told me about some more of the classes, and it was so cool going from calculus homework to reading about the ethics of Christ. Like, just
pretty great.
I mean, you could see the joy on my face.
Oh man, that's good.
Just of how much I just love studying the Bible.
Yeah,
it's so cool. Dan, if you're listening, don't listen to this next part. Sometimes at work, I like to just pull up gotquestions.org. It's a really cool resource.
I love it.
Yeah. You can just look up almost any question about the Bible, and it has so many different articles on there that you can read. And that stuff's just fascinating to me, because there's so much in there that obviously we can't understand. But God will reveal himself to us if we're searching for him, if we're searching through his scriptures to learn more about him. And if I can just learn even just a tiny bit more about God,
Yeah.
Dan is going to get mad, though, isn't he?
Incredible. Dan's going to get mad.
Kind of a slave driver, huh? Yeah.
Do we think Dan's going to listen to this?
Dan does listen. I've heard via Dan that he listens, so he will for sure.
Do you? Let's give a shout out to a faculty member in the School of Theology and Missions. Who can we give a shout out to? Who did you love?
Kelvin Moore.
Great guy.
Amazing man.
Love
I mean,
it.
he knows so much about the Old Testament and has really like encouraged my own personal study. So I didn't start right at January. I guess I started November or something. But I'm in Deuteronomy right now, and I'm just loving it. I'm just loving like actually taking time to read each verse and then go to gotquestions.org or wherever and be like, what does that verse mean? Why did Moses do this? Why did this happen? It's so cool. And I think that my professors are the reason why I approach my studies the way that I do when I study scripture. So
I love it. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if anybody listens to this and they have questions about the School of Theology and Missions, and they are maybe scared or don't know, who to reach out to you.
Absolutely.
Runions at uu.edu.
That's it.
We'll put that in the show notes for everybody. Okay. Anything else you want to leave us with as we say so long, farewell, goodbye?
Oh man, I'm just very thankful for the both of you. I know that neither of you have known me super well, or we've never really been involved in anything, but I mean, the good words, what I was talking about, this is a part of that. And another part of it is being in this job, I've wondered, how do I contribute more to the Union community as a whole? Because I've gotten close to my admissions team. How do I get close to people in the Vocadio Center? How do I get closer to professors? And I think that taking the time to do podcasts like this, or taking the time to have a Bible study with girls, or help with Go Trips, help with Res Life events, I think that as a Union community, if we keep doing that, then it's only going to draw us closer to each other, and only going to help progress our goal of seeing students come to know the Lord.
Yeah.
So.
Love it.
That's a good word.
It's the fun of working at a college, too.
It sure is.
I mean, we get to go to basketball games and see our students perform and do great things, and go to Res Life events and have fun, and it keeps us young, friend.
I'm telling you. It really is the absolute best.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's great.
Dylan, I admire you. I respect you. I think that you are a tremendous asset to Union. Clearly, the admissions department and all those folks and the families that get to interact with you. What a gift to be able to hear you share your story as they are making a big decision in the life of their students. So press on, my friend. You are doing phenomenal kingdom work.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be in this position.
Thankful for you.
Dylan, I'll add that I definitely know who you are now. Okay? Fran gave all the glowing compliments.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Glad that y'all finally met.
No, I'm glad too. Despite us being involved in the same wedding, probably together for hours in the same room. Good to make the connection.
Right.
Y'all are both eyeballing each other. Or Dylan definitely knew who you were. Ted's like, God, that kid looks familiar.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is just a part of it. We're all involved in so much, and we all have so many connections with people. Sometimes it's hard. You can't be best friends with everybody.
No.
I had to learn that.
That's a good word. Yeah.
I think the whole world looks familiar, so just smile and nod and wave.
Absolutely.
Hey,
That's right.
How are you? All right, everybody. We're so glad that you listened to another episode of Let's Talk About That. And today, I'm very grateful for the conversation that we had. All right, everybody. Have a super fantastic week. We'll see you next time. We're so thankful for you, Dylan Runions. I appreciate your wisdom and just the heart behind who you are and the time that you spent with us. Okay, have you come for a campus visit? Come see us. You can schedule that online, uu.edu, and just search campus visits. We've also got a fee waiver code for you if you are ready to apply, but we don't want you to pay the fee, okay? Just type in the word TALK, all capital letters, TALK, and you will be set. All right, everybody, we'll see you next time on another episode, another conversation of Let's Talk About That.